What did you write?
I am frustrated at Frank because he is inconsistent, unloving, does hurtful things, is always upset with my behavior, and won't marry me.
So Frank won't marry you. Can you absolutely know that that's true?
No.
And how do you react when you believe that thought? What happens? And you're with Frank, and you believe the thought, he won't marry me.
I get so angry and frustrated and hurt and nutty. Just...
So who would you be without the thought, Frank won't marry me? So close your eyes and imagine your life with Frank the way that you've experienced it. You're having lunch together, dinner, you're walking maybe, you're in the car. Don't change anything, just the life that you share with him, only without the thought he won't marry me. Who would you be without the thought he won't marry me?
Much happier.
Yes.
More relaxed.
Yes, same life with the thought stressed out, reacting toward Frank, without the thought relaxed.
Yeah.
Having a really nice time with Frank.
Right.
Okay?
Much more present and be present to being there.
Yeah. So turned around, Frank won't marry me, turned around.
He will marry me.
Could happen.
Could.
Could happen. So read that one again. There was another one.
I'm frustrated at Frank because he's inconsistent, unloving, and is always upset with my behavior.
So Frank is always upset with your behavior. Is that true?
No.
No. Very good. Nice to know. So turn it around. Frank is always upset with my behavior. What's an opposite?
He's never upset with my behavior.
Okay, and that doesn't seem to work.
No.
Okay. Some of these fit, some don't. Can you find another turnaround? Frank is always upset with my behavior. Try I.
I am always upset with my behavior. Okay. I can look at that.
So give me an example of where that's true, especially when you're with Frank.
Because I get angry with him because he won't commit to me. I'm upset sometimes with my reactions to him.
Yes. So let's look at the next one.
I want Frank to be more communicative, accepting, and committed to me in our relationship.
So I love this one. Just for fun, turn it around and put it all on you.
I need to be more communicative, accepting, and committed to our relationship. Wow. Well, that changes everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I can see where I haven't been as committed to our relationship and being as communicative. I've been more frustrated with getting what I wanted.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the next one.
Frank should be more understanding.
Is that true? Frank should be understanding. Think of the person in your life that you can relate this to. That person should be more understanding. Can you absolutely know that that's true? Again, who needs God when you have your opinion? You know, we're like dictators in our minds. You should be more understanding, and you need to this, and you need to that, and I need to this. And we're dictating the world. There's no presence in it. He should be more understanding. Can you absolutely know that that's true?
No. He shouldn't be. He doesn't have to.
Yeah,
be
he should be Frank instead.
Just be himself.
Yeah. So how do you react when you believe this thought and he does not understand your behavior when you're angry?
I get pain in my body, like physical pain in my heart and my whole being.
Yes. That's what happens when we believe our thoughts. That's what happens when we begin to, from our heads, control the world. That's how we create the world. He should be more understanding. And we're creating this world that is not happening right now. We're trying to make it into this imaginary utopia, and all the time, we're not being understanding. We're not applying it to ourselves.
It's true. I haven't been understanding where his situation is and what's been going on with him.
Very good. Very good. So who would you be without the thought, Frank should be more understanding? Imagine your lives without that thought. Who would you be without that thought? I don't ever expect anyone to understand me. Even when they do, what do I have? What I love experiencing is, do I understand you? Can I just hear you and be present and understand? Who would you be without that thought?
I'd be more free, more at peace.
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely more at peace.
Now, let me take you into something that could be very exciting, and I invite you all to follow. So, sweetheart, close your eyes and see if you can get a picture of Frank where he is absolutely not understanding. Can you get it? He's not going there. Okay, now look at him just for a moment. Drop your story and look at Frank. Really, look at that. Look at him. You see his eyes, his face? Who do you see? What do you see?
A sweetness and sort of a lovingness, a little bit of fear, but still just a wanting to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're meeting Frank for the very first time. Yeah. That's what I love about this work. I've come to see that no two people have ever met. We haven't even met our children. We're so busy dictating what's best for them. And the people that we want to marry, people we don't even know. And that's after dating for 30 years. Who would I be without my story? What am I without my story? Beautiful. Yeah. So turn it around. Turn that thought around.
I should be more understanding.
Yes. Of you and Frank. Yeah, understand yourself and be gentle when you find yourself reacting and you're angry. To just notice and show a little mercy for that dear one that you call you.
For something that's happening to me too.
Yes. Yeah. And the next one?
Frank shouldn't be so judgmental and should be more committed to marrying me.
Yeah. So Frank shouldn't be so judgmental. Is that true? Can you absolutely know that it's true?
No.
I love that people judge me. How else can I grow? If I'm not awake to myself, the people I live with are perfectly awake to me. They know every flaw I've got. They wake me up to myself. So give me a judgment that Frank puts on you that just feels like a knife in your heart.
That I'm too social.
Is he right?
I don't think I'm too social.
From his opinion and the way he lives his life?
From his life, yes.
Well, he's right then. That's his universe that he's living out of. You're not too social for your universe, but in his universe, you're too social.
But I get offended.
Okay, so let's have a conversation. You be Frank.
Okay.
And I'm going to be someone who loves him very much. I'm going to be you.
Okay.
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 So you give me the part about, like, you can even exaggerate how he feels about this, that I'm too social.
Okay. You're always going out. You're always with your friends. You never make time for me. It's always that I'm second to your life and everything that you're doing, everything that you enjoy, traveling, going places, having a life.
Oh, honey, that must be very painful for you. I hear that you think I'm putting you second. And I hear that, in your opinion, I'd rather be with other people. And you know, the truth is, I would sometimes. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
It's the truth that sets you free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is so true sometimes, honey. I would rather be with other people sometimes. And you know, you're first on my list. I love you. And I love being with other people. So what is the worst he would say to that? I mean, you're afraid of something, or you would tell him the truth. And the truth is, sometimes you prefer being with other people.
It's true.
So we hide it from them as though it's not true. And it's true. And when when someone tells us the truth, we attack.
Yes.
Now the seeker goes in. He says, you'd rather be with other people. And we say, how can you say that? I love you, on and on and on and on and on.
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah. And defense is the first act of war. The seeker goes in. Someone not interested in the truth, as Wayne talked about today, self-realization. We're all living with the right person to give us that. So he says, you'd rather be with other people, and you attack. And we call it defense, but it's attack.
It feels like attack even.
Because that's what we're doing. And we're defending against what's true.
It's true.
And then we wonder why we're asleep, but it's us putting us to sleep. So the next time someone drops a judgment on you and you notice that you begin to attack in your so justified defense, you'll feel it. In that moment, I invite you to just notice all of that stress and the attack and the defense. And it's like your whole body shifts. It's called war. I invite you in that moment, as you're attacking, like you're going out to attack, to just notice all those feelings and hear that little temple bell and come back and say, could he be right? Is it possible? And if I defend anything, I have come to see that that person I have attacked through my defense is right. So it's the truth that we're fearing, and that's what we're doing war over. And who starts the war? That would be me. It doesn't take two people to start a war, only one. So if there's a war in my family, I started it. And realizing this gives me all the power. Can you hear this? Because if I have the power to start the war, I have the power to end it. And if one person can end war in this world, then war can end. But if you can't do it, how can you expect the world to do it? It can't be done. If you can't do it, it can't be done. You're the one, you're the one, you're the one. That's how it is.
It's very powerful.
You know, governments should stop and countries should stop doing war, but personally in my life, it works. You know, after all, aren't we still together? Peace. And it begins with you. Happens here, it doesn't happen. Let's look at the next one.
Okay. I need Frank to be kinder to me, more loving to me, committed to me, and stand up for me.
Turn it around. You know, turn it around. If someone loves me, what does that have to do with me? If someone loves me, they're believing their thoughts about me. And they're projecting that as me. And I love that for them. Because love, you know, if you look at those moments when you've experienced love, it wasn't the other person you were loving. That love was coming from inside of you. It's showing you your capacity to love. You know, I love my children, my husband, all three of them. And there is nothing I can do about it. There is no thought I have about them that doesn't lift them up to my mind. So it's not, do you love me? It's about, do I love you? Because that's where we're balanced. That's where we have stepped into our own true nature. And that's self-realization. If we just were awake to ourselves, it's, you know, you're the one you wake up with, you're the one you were born with, you're the one that likes your favorite food, you love your favorite movie, you're the one that you go to sleep with at night. You may as well love the one you're with first. Because if you can't love you, how can you expect us to? And if you can't love you, how can you love someone else? Because you project what you think onto them. So let's play a little more with this. You know, someone walks, let's say Stephen, my husband, walks into the room in the morning, and this doesn't happen, but I'm going to use it hypothetically. It's like he walks in the morning and he says, "Hi, honey." And I think, yeah, sure. He knows what he did. And so I have turned me off. You know, an enemy just walked into the room and all he said was, "Good morning, honey." So on another morning, he walks in, he says, "Good morning, honey." And I look at him and think, oh my gosh, how did I become so lucky as to even meet a man like Stephen. Isn't he fabulous? Isn't he wonderful? Oh, look at that smile. Okay, I have just turned me on. Those were my thoughts I'm reacting to, and all he has done is walk into the room and say, "Good morning, honey." So what I think is what I see. What we believe is what we see. And when we believe our thoughts, the universe becomes very small. Unless those thoughts are truer to our nature, which is love and acceptance and excitement of what is going to happen next. Because you love everything you think, you don't bother thinking. You don't have to, because nothing but good can happen. So it's always exciting. It's like opening Christmas presents every moment. It's a wonderful thing, the don't know mind. And a partner, they're so wonderful. They'll push your buttons. That's what they're for. Every human is God in disguise, knowing exactly what button to push. And taking on whatever is necessary for you to step into self-realization. So let's look at the next one. Let's keep traveling into you. Wonderful, wonderful you.
Frank is confused, angry, frustrated, and overly opinionated.
So turn it around. I am
confused.
About
angry.
Frank. He tells the truth and you pretend that he's not. Yeah. And the next word?
I'm angry.
Yes, at Frank. Because you're believing your thoughts about him. It's like I could never be angry at Stephen. I simply experience my thoughts about Stephen that I haven't questioned yet. No wonder I'm angry. I'm believing my thoughts. The one I'm with is always innocent. It doesn't mean that they don't do what they do. But my thoughts about them, that's something I can do something about. Okay? That way it frees me up to be in the position of how can I help? And that's where we live the happiest lives, is how can I help? Mm-hmm. And the next word?
I'm frustrated.
Yes, especially around Frank.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'm frustrated with his opinionated thoughts.
Okay. And turn it around.
Frustrated with myself about my opinions.
Yeah. And the next one?
Oh, Frank, that's it. That was all of them.
Okay, let's look at the last one.
Okay. I don't ever want to experience rejection.
I'm willing.
I'm willing to experience rejection from Frank.
I look forward to.
I look forward to experiencing rejection from him, of me.
So again, what is the worst thing he could say about you, where you would feel rejected?
That he's not interested in being committed to me.
Okay. Now, give me an example of why your life would be better off if he rejected you totally. Why would your life be better without Frank?
I could go on to find someone else.
That's one. Someone social, maybe.
Yes.
Why would your life be better off if he totally rejected you?
I could travel more.
And with less guilt. It's like you're traveling anyway. There are two ways to travel. One is guilty, one is not. Yeah. Yeah. So give me another example of why your life would be better if Frank totally rejected you.
I wouldn't have to feel guilty for treating him the way I've been treating him.
That's 3. It's a wonderful thing. not to hurt the one you love. So if he did totally reject you and say it's over, then that's one of the places you could be grateful, and it's like, until I can learn not to hurt him, I love that he doesn't have to experience me hurting him, and I'm working on it. Yeah, it's very painful to hurt the ones we love. And defense is what does that. We're at war with what is the way of it. And to be at war with what is a closed mind. It's the I know mind. So what does he say? Give me something else that he says that rejects you or hurts.
That my past is something that he is offended by.
Mm-hmm. So he's offended by your path. What does that have to do with you?
Absolutely nothing.
Very good to know. So let's have that conversation. You be him, and I'll be someone who loves him very much. I'll be you.
Okay. You've done all these things. You've gone all these places. You've been so expressive in your life, and you've never been committed to anyone. What is your problem? You've offended me for all these things you've done in your life before now, before I met you.
When you were naming all the things I've done, I could not find one place that wasn't true. I really have done those things.
But you shouldn't have done those things. Didn't you know better?
The truth is I didn't. I didn't.
But I know better for you, and you should have known better.
Well, I love that it would work that way, and it just doesn't. But I appreciate your help. I have no idea how you can be so patient with me. Because I love those trips. I love being the way that I am. And I'm so sorry that that hurts you. And I don't see me changing.
So I have to accept this the way you are.
Well, you don't have to accept me the way that I am. But I think your life would be a lot easier if you did. Because again, honey, I love you with all my heart, and I don't see me changing.
I guess that's the truth.
Yeah. You're so beautiful, sweetheart. You're just so on fire in this world. And I love that you would own it and put that as a value above anyone that would, and I just see that he's telling you the truth.
Yeah.
He knows you really well, and he's painting a beautiful portrait. It's just not one that he understands yet.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, so I invite you to be very patient and loving and use him to practice on what's true and what's not.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.